What if I told you that we're witnessing a historic collapse, not just of the Democrats, but of their entire media machine? For years, legacy media outlets ran interference, right? Shielding the left from any accountability for the nefarious and, frankly, often treasonous actions. Today, the mask is off. This weekend in particular, the legacy media has appeared to have largely jumped ship, finally throwing the Democrats under the bus for the government shutdown. And the fallout looks like it's reshaping American politics right before our eyes. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot professor, enjoying yet another wonderful day in President Trump's golden age that you made possible back on November the 5th. So if you want a front row seat on how you are changing the world in ways you never even imagined, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. I want you to imagine something here with me. Imagine the legacy media, the loyal gatekeepers for Team Blue, right? Thus far, there's frankly no difference between Democrats and the legacy media. We've talked about that a lot. They are literally married to each other. I mean, legacy media legacy media anchors actually have spouses who work for the Democrats, right? The Democrats and legacy media are one. They are inseparable. And yet, suddenly, over the last 48 hours or so, media outlet after media outlet has started to overtly blame the Democrats for the shutdown. Live on air. Here's John Carl of ABC News yesterday morning. Listen to what he said to Speaker Mike Johnson.
The Democrats did not vote for the clean funding bill. They have chosen to shut the government down.
Do my eyes and ears deceive me? One more time. It was quick, just to be sure.
The Democrats did not vote for the clean funding bill. They have chosen to shut the government down.
Yeah, that's ABC News. I mean, however subtle in the setup to his question to Speaker Mike Johnson, that was John Carl openly admitting that it was indeed the Democrats who are repeatedly voting against the clean funding bill, the clean continuing resolution, the CR, that they ironically voted for back in March. And in voting against that clean CR, it was the Democrats who were repeatedly forcing the government to shut down. Well, I guess pigs really do fly. Now, ironically, John Carl of ABC was not the first to admit this. A couple of weeks back, the entire editorial board of the Washington Post did something absolutely unprecedented. They delivered a scathing assessment of the Democrat Party's shutdown strategy, which they warned was a disaster that they're not going to be able to reverse. I mean, basically, the editorial board claimed that the Democrats' progressive far-left flank has led their party inadvertently directly into what they call a shutdown trap set by Donald Trump. So that's exactly what the editorial is titled. Democrats marched into a shutdown trap. And the Washington Post editorial board, which again, keep in mind, they are all progressive liberals, right? They're all progressive leftists. They totally love AOC. And so there's nothing the progressive wing can ever do that would earn their ire apart from this, apart from like literally destroying the entire Democrat apparatus. So they're arguing here that the far left of the Democrat Party has embraced a disastrous mentality in thinking that they could come out ahead in this government shutdown. And that's because historically, and they point this out, historically, the side that makes the demands, the side that's holding out, is always the one that comes out on the losing side. The majority of the public does not believe that whatever your pet issue is that you're holding out for, as legitimate as it may be, it should not be used to shut the government down. And so the Post editorial board specifically criticized Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, for abandoning voting for the clean CR, the clean continuing resolution, in order to bend the knee to the far left, right? In order to stave off a primary challenge from AOC. And as a result, the Democrats literally hand-delivered all the power in the world to President Trump. The Post editorial board admitted that as a result of the Democrat shutdown, as a direct result of the Democrats shutting down the government, President Donald J. Trump and his budget director, Russell Vought, now have extraordinary authority and power to choose which agencies to close, what spending to prioritize, and even which government workers to lay off, which, of course, they have already done. Over 4,000 federal workers have been permanently fired since the shutdown began. And it's just the beginning. They're in the process of dismantling entire departments that are all the pet projects of Democrats. This is why the Washington Post editorial board predicted that there is literally no conceivable outcome with this shutdown that actually benefits the Democrats. None. Gang, this is the Washington Post. This is the paper, along with the New York Times, that basically functions as the blueprint for perpetual Democrat rule over our nation. And in the same vein, take a look at this from CNN. This from just a couple of days back. Democrats set a shutdown snare for Trump, but may walk into his trap instead. Sound familiar? The article goes on to admit that it was indeed the Democrats who deliberately shut down the government in order to lay a trap for Trump and the Republicans, only to find that it was they themselves that ended up in the trap, where Trump basically gets everything he wants. He gets pretty much everything he could possibly desire in terms of power and control over D.C., whereas the Democrats have gotten nothing. They're holding out for what they want, all the while Trump gets everything he wants precisely as they're holding out. It's a completely asymmetrical standoff. And we can keep going. Look at this from USA Today. It's an opinion piece that explicitly lays the blame at the feet of the Democrats. And again, more and more people are seeing it. There's no coherence. There's no viable rationale for what the Democrats are doing other than reacting in accordance with their TDS-infested far left. Here's Speaker Mike Johnson on how Democrats are indeed in absolute shambles with no coherent leadership and complete chaos in their messaging.
Front. On the other side, Democrats can't even agree amongst themselves. You got different subgroups among them. You've got a few reasonable Democrats who know shutdowns hurt the people, and they've already voted for our bill. They want to keep the government open. Then you've got others desperate to prop up the failures of Obamacare with no reforms whatsoever to make the program more affordable. That's what we're fighting for. And you've got AOC calling for her own negotiations on live TV. And you've got Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries still unable to articulate what it is they need to reopen the government. It illustrates the point once again. This was never about a solution. It was about creating an issue. Now that Democrats have had their protest and publicity stunts, I just pray that they come to their senses and end this shutdown and reopen the government this week. Republicans are waiting. The American people are waiting, and we are ready to act. As evidence of just how united Republicans are in this fight, I've asked two of our prominent leaders in the House Republican Conference. I've got House Freedom Caucus.
You know, we have to remember that these were the same Democrats who insisted on shutting our entire nation down during the COVID craziness, who advocated for the mass firings of anyone who remained unvaccinated. You remember that, right? You know, the good news is that things are finally turning around. Did you actually know there's a $4.5 billion fund set aside to compensate people injured by the vaccines? It's shocking, isn't it? But what's even more concerning is how many people still don't realize that mRNA vaccines may cause ongoing damage long after the shot. And it all comes down to something called spike proteins. Now, these spike proteins can affect your blood vessels, your immune system, even your brain. And for millions of people, the effects are showing up months or years later. So what can we do to protect ourselves and rebuild our health naturally? Well, it turns out that the answer starts in your gut. Your gut microbiome, that's the community of bacteria living inside of you. It's the number one factor for overall health and immunity. But years of antibiotics, processed foods, and toxins have destroyed that balance for most Americans. And believe it or not, the number one thing you can do for your gut microbiome is consume kimchi. So that's why I am so excited about Kimchi 1 from Brightcore. I take it every day and I love it. It's a breakthrough way to get the benefits of traditional fermented kimchi, but without the mess, the smell, or the hassle. I mean, each capsule delivers over 900 probiotic strains, live enzymes, and powerful antioxidants that help restore your gut flora, improve digestion, support your immune system, and even help with energy, metabolism, and weight management. It's all natural, non-GMO, gluten-free, soy-free, made right here in the USA. And I take it myself every day because I want my gut and my immune system working for me, not against me. Now, you can get 25% off right now by going to mybrightcore.com/Turley. But better yet, call them at 888-597-0233 for up to 50% off plus free shipping. The first 100 callers even get a free bottle of vitamin D3. Again, that's 888-597-0233. They're Patriots. They love to talk to Turley talkers. You're going to love chatting with them. Don't wait. Your gut health is your first line of defense. Give them a call at 888-597-0233. I think we all know why the legacy media is turning on the Democrats. I don't think you have to be a genius here. After over 3 weeks of a government shutdown that, frankly, nobody cares about, you notice that? A shutdown that was supposed to hurt President Trump. Well, now the polls are in. And they are a Democrat nightmare, and it's CNN that's delivering the horrible news.
About Donald Trump shutdowns, net approval rating, we're talking 20 days into it. In 2018/2019, Donald Trump's net approval rating was already falling. The shutdown was eating into his popular support. It was down 3 points already at this particular point and would fall considerably more. It was very much on the decline. You come over to this side of the screen, this shutdown hasn't eaten into Donald Trump's support at all. His net approval rating is actually up a point in terms of his popular support. So the bottom line is this. The first shutdown during Trump's first term, 2018-2019, was hurting Donald Trump. This one is not hurting him at all. There's no real reason Donald Trump might say, at least when it comes to popular support, I want to get out of this shutdown.
It doesn't get worse than, can you imagine being a Democrat today? Trump is now, they're clenched fist in the air. Trump is more popular now than he was before the shutdown began. A shutdown that was designed by Democrats deliberately to politically hurt him. It's the very definition of a backfire. It's the very definition of a fail. And it gets worse. Look at this. Once again from USA Today. This headline just came out today. Don't count on a blue wave in the midterms. Most Americans say Democrats are weak. Now, we knew this. We've known this. We're on the cutting edge of societal revolution here, as the immortal Rush Limbaugh used to say. We knew this. We know there's not going to be any blue wave. Just look at Jersey right now. Look at Virginia right now. There ain't going to be no blue wave. And again, though, this is USA Today admitting it. It's as mainstream legacy media as you can get. And they appear to be largely done carrying the Democrats' water in all of this. They're looking at the polls. They're seeing Mike Johnson's wry little smile. They're seeing Trump and Russ vote, slash programs, and fire federal workers by the thousands. And they're like, yo, Democrats, dudes, you need to quit while you're behind here. Because it's so bad you're going to lose the midterms. It's that bad. You're that unpopular right now. You're perceived as that weak. So make no mistake, that's not descriptive, that's prescriptive from USA Today. That's not descriptive, that's a meaning. They are they're not just telling the Democrats, they're not just informing the Democrats that there ain't going to be no blue wave. They are prodding them They are telling them they need to fix this now. It's prescriptive. It's not merely descriptive. So word on the street is that the Democrats are going to cave this week. We'll see. Trump's talked about this. They needed something for the new Kings rally. They needed something to help rally the new Kings rally, right? Something to literally rally their rank and file. And the shutdown was supposed to be it. This 3 weeks before the No Kings rally, that was not a coincidental timing. The shutdown was supposed to galvanize a mass uprising of tens of millions among grassroots Democrats across the nation. And of course, it didn't, right? We talked about that on our first video today. What an abject disaster, what a flop this No Kings Rally 2.0 was over the weekend. You'll definitely want to check out that video. You'll love it. But it was, by every objective measure, it was a complete waste of time. Just like this Schumer shutdown. There is literally no point to either. If we were to try to make sense of it, the Schumer shutdown was supposed to galvanize a grassroots resistance that was supposed to materialize this past weekend, and it obviously fell embarrassingly short of that. So with No Kings flop behind them, along with their own plunging poll numbers, remember, this shutdown is being led by the single most unpopular senator on Capitol Hill, Chuck Schumer. He's just got 17% approval rating. So with the protests now done and gone, with the Democrats clearly suffering the polls, all the while Trump, it's just such a Trump thing to do. All the while President Trump is gaining in popularity, they're going to inevitably cry uncle. Again, it's just a matter of when, not if. And would it not be hilarious that as they cried uncle and they said, all right, we'll open up the government again, we'll vote to open it up. Would it not be hilarious if Trump turned around and said, no, I'm not going to sign it. I ain't going to sign the CR. I ain't giving you back the government. I like this new power that you idiot Democrats handed me. I like it. I think I'm going to hold on to it indefinitely. Go back to your swamp of irrelevance. I mean, that would actually be, we would actually be seeing the Democrats begging Trump to reopen the government. We'll see how it plays out. But Trump is the ultimate troll. It'd be exactly something we could conceive of him doing. I wouldn't be surprised if he kept the government shut down an extra week or two just to really stick it to him. It'd be absolutely hilarious. So what's the big takeaway in all of this? Well, the left faces an existential crisis. They're being increasingly abandoned by their former media allies. They're battered by collapsing poll numbers, and they're grappling with a failed leadership. For conservatives, this is the moment to double down, not just in elections, but in the total dismantling of the administrative state and the complete draining of the swamp. The Democrats thought they set a trap for the GOP. Turns out, like Wile E. Coyote chasing after the Roadrunner, the only trap that got sprung was on themselves. Thanks so much for listening, gang. If you haven't already, be sure to head on over to turley.pub/news and sign up for our newsletter. That's where I share all the latest updates, behind-the-scenes news, and ways you can stay plugged into this growing movement of faith, family, and freedom. Big things are always in the works, and I want you to be the first to know. Until next time, stay strong, stay hopeful, and God bless.